Everybody, and welcome to the show. Hope you guys are having a good weekend out there because it is super hot here down in New Zealand. So we're really enjoying the weather. You're really cool. So welcome to the special live stream. We're going to be talking about, of course, the PUSD algo, and of course, it is starting to get early signs of ramping up. So really excited about that after a bit of a hiatus. For about a year, it's really starting to move forward, and I think it's going to probably be a bit of a juggernaut as well. So very excited about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. Now, all the views expressed in this video are my own. Obviously, do your own research, not due diligence. Do your due diligence and all that good stuff. So there we are. I'm going to have a lot of my speculations in the house today. Now, first of all, before we get into that, we've got Brian in the house. 36 months as a member. A big shout out to Brian. The biggest supporter of the channel, really. Just amazing stuff. So big shout out to you. 36 months of membership, community leader in our Discord and on YouTube. So big shout out. A special heartfelt thanks there for you, Brian. Hope you're having a good time in the good old US of A. So let's get into it. We've got Hexcavator as well. Hey, gang. Good to see you, Hexcavator. We've got Colt DeFi, who's Jacob's frontman. So Jacob, if you guys don't know, is the founder of PUSD Algo, amongst many other protocols, which we're going to go through. Colt DeFi is doing a lot of good, excellent work for him. So yeah, it looks like they're going to have a show themselves on PUSD Algo, which is just a coincidence. We had not been talking about this at all. We kind of do our own shows. Yeah, PUSD Algo there with Crypto Coffee. That's following after they just had a show on Mafia. And as you guys know, Crypto Coffee, on the whole, I think, is probably the biggest Pulsechain influencer out there. Now, there are other big ones, but I think he's the biggest, most consistent, most engaging there. So that's really good exposure. And that's actually going to play into part of my presentation for you today. Yeah, I've got a presentation. You haven't seen one for a while, but it should be pretty good. Brian says, thanks, boss. You're most welcome, Brian. Big shout out to you once again. So let's see who else has jumped in here. We've got Brennan in the house there. Howdy all, made it for the tariff party. Yeah. Well, we've seen the impact of Trump's tactical tariffs and, of course, income tariffs. So that's going to be pretty interesting. If you guys aren't aware, the markets are correcting with Trump putting, I think it's 25% tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China has got one as well, particularly on AI chips. I think Taiwan's also going to get some tariffs on their chips. So this is a repegging, a rebalancing of the balance sheet and income sheets for the United States, which have always been subsidizing foreign governments. Now, obviously, a lot of people have negative. Economists, classical economists, typically have a negative on tariffs in general economic theory, but those have a lot of presuppositions and things. And of course, America has a unique position being the world's consumer. So everyone wants to sell to them, and they have the biggest incomes, right? So that sort of breaks down some of that tariff analysis, and therefore benefits the USA there quite a lot. And of course, one of his main objectives there is also not only to rejig the world order, but also to bring manufacturing back into the US, particularly high tech. So he's got a lot of high tech people around him, so you can sort of see part of that strategy playing out. So we're going to see, obviously, crypto's already corrected a bit. We'll see what the stock market does on Monday. Some were voting for a relief rally, but we're more likely to see a correction in the market there on Monday. We'll see how big it is when we get there, but that's kind of the play. Still expecting February to be very green, bullish for crypto because generally it is. So I'm not expecting too much there. Brennan says, Aussie and New Zealand avoided the tariffs for now. Yeah, both Australia and New Zealand are probably unlikely to avoid it. Both of them have administrations which are antagonistic to the US, even though on one side of the mouth they're saying one thing, but actually all their comments leading up to Trump's presidency have been negative. They're typically progressives, socialists, globalist leaders that we've got in Australia and New Zealand. Both of them are wrecking our countries. They are wrecking it at a fast rate of knots. You would not believe how fast they're wrecking our countries. Unbelievable. We are really destined for a third world country. That's where they're taking us. We'll still have a beautiful country for the most part. But hey, look, even that is going to face some challenges. So yeah, wish us luck, folks. Wish us luck. We all wish we had a President Trump running our countries. Now, he's going to be pretty good for the world, so we are going to get that benefit. But anyway, the topic today is not politics and economics. It is a PUSD algo. So we're going to get back into it. And Crypto Ninja there is in the house for that PUSD algo. Let's get into it. We're going to do it. Thanks for keeping all the updates, man. Hey, you're most welcome. Now, let's get straight into it, shall we? I've got a bit of a presentation here. Let's go for gold and chime in. Get in the chat there and let us know what you think of some of my outlooks there. Now, we're going to have a bit of discussion as well, so really get engaged. I really do appreciate that, and I will, talk to your comments and talking points as long as they're constructive. You know how it usually rolls. All right, so PUSD algo on Pulsechain. Big title. I got a big bold title, but I'm not kidding with this title. This is not a hyperbole or anything. This is something that really, I think, is on the roadmap for Jacob's ecosystem. We always talk about all his projects being under Jacob's ecosystem. Arguably, he is the best peer-to-peer crypto blockchain dev in the world. He's got a pretty cool team that does that. They're based out of Europe, highly educated, and things like that. So, yeah, we're excited. I only have one critique of Jacob's ecosystem. We'll get to that later on in the presentation. But PUSD algo on Pulsechain, bigger than 9mm and 9-inch exchanges. That's right. So we're going to look at those numbers on those exchanges and talk about what's possible with what Jacob is doing. I think he's probably going to be heading, rather than having standalone projects, heading into some integrated ecosystem. And therefore, I think, naming Jacob's ecosystem is really going to be heading towards something integrated. I also think it's probably going to be the biggest integrated system on Pulsechain. And we'll talk more about that. There's a few other surprises around that I want to talk about later on that I think are going to happen. So I think this is going to be huge. So as you guys know, I've been a long-term supporter of Jacob's projects because I've always believed in his character and in his, particularly in his vision. I only have one critique, and I'm going to talk about that later on. So I'm very excited to continue to talk about this. In fact, it's just getting bigger and bigger. What I think Jacob is up to, and you guys can all play a part in it, all get into it, and of course, you have to do your own due diligence, things like that. But I'm feeling pretty excited about it, so we're going to get into it. All right, so let's move on. So here we are. We've got a nice little moon rocket, of course, because this is going to be a massive ecosystem on Pulsechain, probably easily challenging probably the PH universe and things like that. It really does look like it's heading for some big numbers. So we're very excited. Now, at the moment, of course, we've been covering Mafia, and Mafia has already hit key milestones on Pulsechain. Really the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain, the first and #1 metaverse on Pulsechain, and the biggest NFT marketplace on Pulsechain. So it's really ticking off a lot of the categories. A lot of the NFT marketplaces, we had about 7 or 8 of them. I think at least 2/3 of those have gone to the wayside, and the others have very low volume. But not on Mafia. Mafia has had extremely good volume. It has ups and downs, but it's consistently high, and having ups and downs is only reflective of where the game rollout is happening at the moment. So Mafia looking incredible. It's ticking off all those categories, but if it wasn't enough for him to dominate those areas, it looks like he wants to go full DeFi. So we're going to move GameFi, Metaverse, NFT marketplace to dominate DeFi as well on Pulsechain. And this is exciting. So let's get into that. So we've been talking about PUSD algo. We've obviously got some stable coins. PUSD algo is looking to be the #1 stable coin, really, technically speaking. And so I'll get into what I mean by that. I've often talked about the stablecoin trilemma on Pulsechain. That is that we have one that's based on a fiat, which is the Coast. That's a Coast fiat on-ramp. That's the Coast stable CST. Then we have 3 liquidity forks on Pulsechain that are not copied. These are ones that have been launched on Pulsechain. So they're original to Pulsechain, Genesis to Pulsechain. So very important there. And that is USDL, liquid loans, based on Pulse. PXDC based on PulseX from Power City, and of course also the third one. I've got to bring it up. It's coming. The third one on Pulsechain here, I just forget it because it's XDC, I think it is, which is based on Hex, right? And that's also from Power City. So there we go. So we've got PUSD coming up. So those 3 liquidity forks are all based on collateral, right? So they're all collateralized. So we've got the stablecoin coast, and then we've got these 3 for liquidity forks. They solve 2 big problems for the Pulse chain, but the trilemma is scalability is the third one, and no one's really solved it. Terra Luna, when it was back in the day, looked like it was going to do a great job of it, but it had too many problems. The switching mechanism, the Bitcoin backing, the human intervention, it was really fundamentally flawed. But you saw the algo run up into the tens of billions. It was just crazy. And PUSD algo is going to be a DeFi version of that. So basically, not having centralized control, it's going to be decentralized and operate with a new mechanism, which is going to be stability miners. So stability miners really is the key to PUSD algo. So if you're running technically how it's going to run, that is the key there. It's also going to run IPOL as well, so the liquidity provision, and a few other mechanisms in there as well to keep stability. And it's going to have double. You heard about double jeopardy. Well, it's going to have double stability because it's also at this stage going to be based on USDL. So it's going to be based on the liquidity fork as well. So we're going to solve the stability, the scalability from the stablecoin trilemma, but also get the stability from the collateralization of the stablecoin with USDL. So that is the current framework that we're kind of working to. But this PUSD algo has also got the algo coin, right? So algo meaning algorithmic, and that is going to be backed. That's going to be mintable, right? So you're going to be able to mint algo, and then of course you'll be able to then switch and mint PUSD as you go, right? So it's going to have an inflation and deflation mechanism in there as well. So very excited about that. So algo is going to be a very well sought after there, and will be able to be scaled, right? Tons of capital will be able to scale it in and into USD there. So I'm very excited about that. So those are some of the basic ideas there. But of course, we've got other projects from Jacob sitting around, right? We've got Pulsepot, the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. Of course, that is following BNB Pot, right, on BNB chain. Those two there, peer-to-peer crypto casinos, absolutely brilliant. And of course, the frontier of crypto is how you do those, and very complicated, right? And you've got to have multiple tokens. You've got to make sure don't get ruggable, manipulated as well. And Jacob's managed to tick all those boxes. So pretty exciting. The other thing we have, of course, sitting out there is Pulse Predict. Like PUSD Algo, this one here hasn't launched yet. So Mafia, Pulsepot, and BNB Pot, either launched. So Pulsepot, BNB Pot have launched. Mafia is in progress of launching in a phased approach, and Pulsepot is out there as well. You can play that. So Pulsepot is out there in terms of its features and running a bit like a BNB Pot in there, but the token has not yet launched, right? So that is the play. So PUSD Algo coming up. Very, very excited about that. Now, what have we also seen from Jacob? We've seen TRH, which is GameFi in Pulsechain, and that was hugely popular when a lot of the Pulsechain wasn't doing a lot of turnover. TYRH was absolutely crushing it, right? So that was a very popular game. It did end up having a staking issue with one of the staking formulas, but it ended up forcing more audits, and that has been a positive for Jacob's ecosystem there. So that's been pretty exciting. So you can see Jacob's ecosystem is pretty huge, but I think it's going to be getting much bigger than people would expect, and that's really the push of this live stream today. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into where I think we are going here with Jacob. It's meant to be a comprehensive view of where Jacob's going. This is kind of like us pulling the pieces of the puzzle together and trying to work out where he's going. So I think it's going to be much bigger than what I'm showing you today. That's what I'm basically saying. I think it's going to be a huge ecosystem dominating Pulsechain, really, along the sides of PulseX. It's going to be pretty incredible. PH Universe may be the closest thing. I think it's in usability and engagement. I think it's going to eclipse Liquid Loans and Power City. There's a very good chance of doing that, and may rival, if not get somewhere around Petias in terms of the DEX aggregation transaction. So we shall see how far this ecosystem goes. But I think Jacob's got a much bigger vision than what people think, and therefore it's taking more time to process all these, to progress all these projects and integrations. So going to be pretty interesting. Now, the end of last year, we're expecting a lot of stuff to happen with the casinos, some integration website and things like that. We have not seen that yet. So that's been pretty awesome, interesting. We haven't seen Pulse Predict launch. So that's been pretty interesting. So obviously, Jacob has got a bigger vision and has delayed those for their vision. So that's pretty interesting. So we got Mafia at the moment. We've got that playing out. That's doing very well. We've seen massive land grab on Mafia. So if you guys haven't seen Mafia, we've got Mafia ticking away. We've got 1,146 players on Mafia now. We've got 28 crime families. And of course, we've got 7.69 billion pulse in there, which is incredible. There are 0 tiles available now. The whole map is sold out. So the huge land rush, the huge gold grab has been sold out. That is hyper successful in the moment. So particularly as we're waiting for the SEC court case versus Richard Hart, Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. So pretty amazing. The vault itself at the moment, this is just where Pulse is at the moment, $372,000 more or less, and that is amazing in the current climate. All we need is to get into a positive climate, positive court case, those sort of things, Magic Carp Ride, PSD Algo, all these sort of things to play out. And we're going to see some massive re-rates in this value. I reckon from $1 million to multi-million dollar game is going to be Pulse Mafia, and it's going to get much bigger than that. How do you make it bigger than that? Well, you bring in DeFi, and that's really part of the picture, part of the vision that I'm talking about today, because I think that he's got pretty big plans. So I think that people playing Mafia might be surprised with how this scales up with DeFi being added into it very bigly, very strongly there. So I'm pretty excited about that. So everything's going pretty good. If we look at the map at the moment, you can see that the map is pretty much like I say, everything is sold out. We had a few properties in Palamo, about 100 or so. They've all gone, and we can see the mug nows have come in there and taken dominance over that. So pretty exciting where this is going. And we've seen the exchange has really taken off with the buying and selling of in-game currency. In-game currency is very valuable. We can see that in-game currency at the moment is going for 22, which is pretty awesome. You can see the chart itself looking pretty good. Even better on BNB, where it's even rarer on BNB. It's only at about 7, I think, on BNB. So 22 there. The lower the ratio, the more expensive in-game currency is, and that ignores the US price of Mafia itself, which has been going up. Generally speaking, a little bit of pullback today with Pulsechain, but apart from that, doing pretty well. We've also seen the marketplace, the NFT marketplace, as I said earlier. Number one NFT marketplace has been crushing it on Pulsechain, $330,000 US, and there's always buys and sells happening. You can go to the history here, and there's always buys and sells going on. This is a secondary market, of course, where people buy and sell and trade. Some people actually do it a lot, and they make profits that way. Pretty exciting. You can see all the trades on the second today, heaps of them. Like it's just going all guns. So this is very exciting. Now, there's going to be tweaks in the tokenomics because you got to get the economy right. When you're running these, you are running economy. Think of Jacob, who's known as the godfather in this game, as a bit of a Federal Reserve chair. He's pretty much like that. So that is pretty crazy. We've also seen the marketing down press up. So that's going to be really huge for sustainability, reaching out to a big community. That's also going to be a leverage for the DeFi that I'm going to talk about today. So I just want to do a quick over that. We've also seen the businesses launch, multiple businesses launching there. We're going to have roulettes, right? They're already operating. They're generally being profitable, except for today. They just went unprofitable. People are losing money today, but they've been pretty much profitable every day up to today. That's just the way, I guess, statistics go. We've got slot machines coming up next, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And then we've got the lottery hall as well. So that's been pretty cool. And then we're going to get into weapons are going to be launching, car crushers, gun stores. So these are all businesses running in this game. And of course, you're going to need an economy sitting in behind that. So the DeFi that's coming is going to be pretty awesome. There's bullet factories and things like that. So I think this is going to surprise people how he scales this. Remember, he's in this for the long run as well. Then, of course, when the game does start, we're going to have hospitals and booze warehouses, banks, detective agencies, narcotic stores, and everything else. And I'm sure there's going to be more businesses and other things coming up. In-game assets and things like that. So you can see this GameFi is absolutely awesome. So number one GameFi on Pulsechain, number one metaverse on Pulsechain, right? So we go to the maps, number one metaverse. We'll just go to Las Vegas here to see the metaverse here. This is one of the maps. And I think there's going to be absolutely massive. So let's just zoom out here quickly. Just to show you one of the maps here. This is Las Vegas on Pulsechain. You can see the strip, Las Vegas strip there built out. Lots of casinos and things like that, roulettes. So it's going to be pretty awesome. And, of course, it's the number one NFT marketplace, right? So on Pulsechain. So doing absolutely amazing is this. So where's it going to go? We've got GameFi, Metaverse, and NFT marketplace. But adding the DeFi power is going to be very important. So I've talked about some of these other projects, right? We've got PulsePot on BNB ticking away there, and the current price is 98 cents on PulsePot. We got Pulse Predict as well. That is ticking away there. We're waiting for that to be integrated or launch. That has sports betting, right, and other things in it. So we're going to get into that. And then we've also got BNB pot on BNB chain, which is also ticking away. The current price is 37 cents of over there for BNB pot. So those are some of the projects that we've got going. And let's check out where we're heading. So that's Mafia. We talked about the other projects, and we're looking for some integration. So we've got PUSD Algo. We're talking about that, right? So PUSD Algo here is still open for the sacrifice or contribution. So people can still participate in that. So we're going to talk about that a bit later. But as you guys know, the docs was gone, right? There were no docs. Well, the docs are back, but they're going to be rejigged on Monday. So expect a major overhaul for these as far as I'm aware. But at the moment, they've been put back up. So we will probably see a whole reissue here, a whole refreshing of the algo site possibly, but definitely looking like the docs. So that was from today. So we're waiting for that. Now, just getting into that. So where might Jacob go with this ecosystem? Let's have a look. So we're going to connect these two together, right? This is just one simple way of looking at it. I think it's probably going to be bigger than what I'm about to, illustrate to you. But I think this is going to be really, really big. So we're going to have a V3 DEX to make it work, right? So PUSD Algo is going to have a V3 DEX. It means that you'll be able to take the fees out of the DEX and manage it that way, like we see in TitanX in a sense, but here on Pulsechain. And it's going to be really impressive. Now, with the V3 DEX, you might as well run a lot of different tokens on it. So I think we're going to see something potentially like this. So we're going to have PUSD Algo running with the V3 DEX. That will include, of course, Flex token, which is going to be a reward token on there. And, of course, we're also going to have potentially the wrap version as well, wrap PUSD, the reward version of PUSD, the stablecoin. We're going to have Mafia on there, right? We'll probably have bullets and hearts and in-game cash, right? And interconnected there with the bigger, wider economy. Now, on the Pulsechain side, so as I've showed Mafia in a close up, but on the Pulsechain side, we could have all the stables there, USDL, Coast, PXDC, HEXDC, PDI even. Now, question mark over PDI because that's the PDI maker theory. We have yet to see that do anything like what people are talking about with all these contracts being, inactive, activated like Aave, Maker, etc., Compound. So we're waiting to see that. That's still speculative. But if that turns out to be real, that could be pretty impressive as well with volume. And then they've got all the other PRC20s, right? That's on Pulsechain. So this could be a massive DEX. So let's have a quick look at how big those might be, right? So let's have a quick look at the stable coins at the moment. So we've got 9-inch versus Pulse at the moment. It's got a market cap of 4.2 million. We've got 9-inch wrapped ETH there at 901,000. Now looking at 9mm. So 9mm at the moment has 4.4 million market cap. So it's pretty similar to 9-inch. And of course, it has the 9-inch also has the BBC token, which is 1.53 million. So that puts a BBC, right? So slightly ahead. Sorry, 9-inch and BBC slightly ahead, right? So it has the incentive token there. Now we've got the old PUSD Algo on here. This is the old PUSD stablecoin that was on testnet. So this was a live testing, and you can see it did absolutely amazing. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Before we do, though, let's go quickly to 9-inch and have a look at this. So as you guys know, 9-inch is also over on Ethereum as well, so it has a market there too. And let's quickly have a look at 9-inch. So 9-inch here also has a new listing. They call it Casting Couch, but they have that as well. And that DEX is operating. They have various tools on here, farms, of course. Now that could potentially be coming to as an extension of Jacob's ecosystem as well, building on its V3 DEX. No reason why not. Staking as well. Obviously, we know that Jacob loves staking, and particularly RNGs and random maturity times to make the token more sticky and less sellable in that regards. And of course, we've got these incentive pools here for the BBC token. I'm not sure whether we'll get anything like that, but that is definitely a potential there. Now, what is the big benefit of having this V3 DEX? Well, you're going to have fees, right? So the more volume you got through, the more fees. Now you're going to be able to leverage the Mafia ecosystem and all the users and you're also going to be able to do a lot of other things, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But that's going to pick up all these, and we're going to earn fees on all of these. And imagine the fees: burning Mafia, burning bullets and hearts, burning in-game cash, right? That just continues to lift the value of Mafia, it lifts the value of the DEX overall. So we could see something what we see in Titan Farms. We know Titan Farms on TitanX is doing that very, very well, obviously, and of course it's going to go to base chain and pulse chain as well. So this method of taking the fees and burning off some of your principal tokens is there, right? You can target particular tokens, Mafia, bullets, hearts, in-game cash, and you could potentially pivot those at different times, potentially have a DAO coming in as well. That's also possible through PSD Algo, right? So that's going to be pretty interesting there. All right, so that's some of the stuff we got happening on 9inch, all right, with some of the tools. So we could definitely can have a lot of those different things over there. The other thing we've got, of course, is the price over there at the moment is sitting at, that's the price chart of 9inch. I think we're going to have a much better chart over on the BNB, on PUSD Algo and any V3 DEX integrated with Mafia, for example. Now, obviously, there may be other elements to it. This is only the information that I'm kind of gleaning at the moment. Now, where did I get a bit of insights from that? Well, I posted this idea in the PSD Algo Telegram, and I got a big thumbs up there from Jacob. So if you're wondering where's my substantiator, well, that's my substantiator there. Obviously, we already know there's going to be V3 DEX, but the expansion of it and the use of the fees was what I was very specific about, and got a big thumbs up there from Jacob. So that's kind of a blue close. He won't answer it in written, but he gave a thumbs up there. So he's definitely in this thinking in this camp, in this area, right? So pretty exciting. Now, obviously, that means that we could re-rate very, very big. At the moment, of course, Mafia is currently valued at 1.4 million on Pulse. But, you know, imagine adding some DEX power. We could suddenly go 5x minimum from there. If you look at the 9inch and 9mm, sitting at 4.2, 4.4 million. Now, how big are those in terms of the trading volumes on Pulsechain? Let's have a quick look. So we got, obviously, PulseX is at number one. PulseX at 27.8 million. I think everyone agrees it would be pretty hard to outdo PulseX, particularly with the awesome tokenomics that Richard Hart has set up, not just around the PRC20s, the MM bots, and all of the liquidity pools supporting us, like the PH Universe products, but also the stablecoin farms and the farming that he's got on there as well. Pretty hard to beat that out, right? And we're expecting some big things there, obviously Magikarp Ride and everything else. But we do see 9inch is at number 2 today. Now, these sometimes they switch around 9inch and 9mm. 9inch, of course, sitting at 703,000 in volume. Imagine that volume going through for PSD Algo here with its V3 DEX and potentially integrated in Pulse Mafia some way. I don't know how he's going to do it, but some way like that. Pretty crazy. We already see these markets expanding on Pulse Mafia with the marketplace, with the exchanges. And so we already see this operating already with the stack here. So at the moment we have this withdrawal. This is basically the sell side if you're going to sell in-game cash, and we have these in tranches, right? People put their prices in tranches as a ratio. But once a V3 DEX is up and running with PUSD Algo, this thing just scales up, 50x. I mean, it really does get crazy, and it widens the access to all the crypto users out there, particularly on Pulsechain in the first instance. So really excited about where this could go. So these are my speculations, of course, and of course I did have some substantiation there with that thumb there from Jacob last night, pretty much. So pretty excited about where that's going. So I think this could be huge, and the volumes could be huge as well. Now we're going to talk about how that would happen in a minute. So let's quickly go to 9mm. 9mm at the moment is doing about $608,000, and you can see the transactions there about 11,400. 9inch is doing 10,500. Now I think we're going to potentially have tons of transactions through PSD Algo / Pulse Mafia, or whatever the integration looks like. I think it'll be pretty exciting. So it's going to be pretty neat to see all that play out. Now, the other thing is that we won't necessarily offer all tokens, of course, just the popular ones potentially would be the most logical thing to do. You're talking about your PGC and things like that. Obviously, those already have taxes, so whether you have a tax on a tax with fees is another question, but that's typically something that can probably be separated out. So we got Pulse Mafia is in play at the moment, and V3 DEX I don't think fits tax tokens anyway. I think only V2 DEXs do, and so that is some of the stuff there. Now I just want to continue on So let's look at some of the things that might happen as well. So we talked about on Pulsechain. I've already shown you some of the potentiality there for volumes, and of course this could end up taking number 2 spot, right, in between PulseX and these other 2 dexes, 9-inch and 9mm, right? So those are the 3 there that are really, really big. Now, not only that, but because this is already he's already on BNB pot, right? Already on BNB chain, and we already got Mafia on BNB as well. We may see it go multi-chain, right? So multi-chain is definitely in there. We know that we could go to a number of EVM chains, sorry, and that could be huge for us. BNB, obviously, the first obvious there, but we could end up on base chain and other chains as well. So this could be a nice horizontal scaling there, not just the vertical scaling, which I've kind of shown you at the moment. Now, another one we could have is DEX aggregation, right? So once you set up a V3 DEX, you're going to get benefits from like Patias and other DEX aggregators like PortalX, and you could become part of that. You're going to get liquidity through there naturally, right, as they try to pass through the best volume. So we'll get picked up with DEX aggregation for V3, right? So I think it's going to be awesome. But ultimate vision, matching the GameFi with the DeFi and really becoming the dominant ecosystem on Pulsechain. Imagine Pulsechain going through the magic carpet ride with Richard Hart, right? We know that magic carpet ride has got a ton of Ethereum there waiting to be leveraged in the system. That could be huge. That's the wrong site there. Where are we going here? We're going magic carpet ride. So that could be absolutely massive, right? So at the moment, it's down 7.5%, obviously with ETH on a bit of a pullback with the old tariffs there from Trump as he reorganizes the world. But it's still sitting at $532 million US. That's going to move around before it won't even, it would have to be much, much higher before I see that even being used. And of course, we've got the Maker theory out there too. So that is the play. The GameFi and DeFi vision is going to be bigger. Like I say, I think I've got an incomplete view of where he might be heading with the DeFi. This is really illustrative of where I think this might be going. He did give a thumbs up on my suggestion. And so, yeah, we could see this really get exciting and what the final vision is going to look like. We've got all those different types of things, the gambling, the crypto, the businesses, the gaming, the metaverse, the NFT marketplace, and full-on DeFi, DEX and potentially arbitrage, all sorts of things coming in. Stablecoin, we're going to talk about that. This will be also attract more capital. Success breeds success. This GameFi DeFi combination supercharged with the DeFi and attract even more capital. Obviously, I posted a post out maybe a week ago. Rackham Rochelle, the big VC capitalist, the number one Pulsechain, PulseX sacrificer, saw that and of course wanted to get his front man to have a look at that, Steve Hitson, to have a look at that. So hopefully that feeds into that. And hopefully they've had direct conversations with Jacob as well. Well worth doing, because I think this is going to be pretty exciting. Now, risk management. Now, obviously, with PUSD Algo, you're going to be able to do risk management, right? So you will be minting a stable coin, right? So Algo, you need Algo. You have to buy Algo to get the stable coin. You're going to be able to earn in the platform as well. And so people are going to be able to move into that stable coin. And how good was that stable coin? Well, it was pretty damn good. In fact, it was better than the other stable coins with the other different models, right? The fiat model and the collateralization model for liquidity forks. So it was better than that. Let's quickly have a look at how good it was, because it was pretty darn good. So we're going to have a look at PUSD Algo. It's still sitting there. Obviously, it's not being supported. How it was supported was through a whole ton of bots, dozens of bots. Some quite centralized, some decentralized, just to test the stability. But you can see here, let's have a look. The stable coin was pretty stable. Look at that up there. That is the stable coin. Isn't that crazy? It was sitting pretty much at $1 the whole time, with a little volatility when it first began, as they turned on and experimented with the miner bots there to adding and removing liquidity there. So minting PUSD or selling it into the market there, and pretty crazy. So then, of course, it got turned off here on the 17th of January, and so the market really fell down. But of course, those tokens will be claimable for $1, I guess, when the platform goes live. So that is pretty impressive there. So you can see the stability coin, absolutely amazing. See if I can get rid of the others. You can kind of see it here. It was pretty much around $1. So that's $1 right there. Pretty crazy, right? Very, very stable. perform better than the other stable coins. We've seen, Coast be 5 cents separated from a dollar peg. We've seen Liquidity, the Liquidity forks also like that, even 10 cents, 12 cents apart from peg. So pretty crazy. Now we've got a couple other comments in the chat here before I move on. We've got Francia in the house there. Hello, good to see you, Francia. And you got lots of love there. We've got Hedgehog in the house there. Woohoo! Good to see Hedgehog. Yeah, definitely join the Discord. The link's in the video description there. Nice. We've got more wealth in there. Algo. Absolutely. Algo means algorithmic for some of you. Some of you might if you don't pick up. I saw someone on Telegram say, "Oh, I just worked out what algo was like after a year." I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." More wealth says, "Is it going live next month?" No. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So hold on to timeframes. PUSD Algo could really give some legs for the Pulsechain ecosystem. Absolutely. It does solve the scalability problem on Pulsechain. Now, some people are obviously speculating on PDI to also do that, but I would say it's way more speculative than a PUSD Algo. Now, which one launches first? Going to be interesting to see. And, of course, PUSD will pretty much launch close to $1 peg. And so it might have a little volatility just at the very beginning, like the test one, but we'll probably go to $1 pretty quickly there. Brennan says, will the PUSD a die chart you're showing be the same CA on launch? No, they'll be probably having PUSD USDL. So they're going that way. They've got even more stability support because it will be based paired up with a stable coin as well. So USDL is the liquid loans stable coin backed by Pulse. And so therefore you've got that support. So yeah, they're moving away from DAI to USDL. So hopefully that helps. That doesn't seem to have changed. We will be getting an update on Monday. So we'll see what that update looks like on those docs. So it's pretty big update there. That was also from Telegram overnight. So pretty exciting. So that is looking pretty good. Now, so we're going to have risk management. So it's going to be a key feature there with the stablecoin as well. Now, making it happen. This is going to get into the timing question that Morewealth asked in the chat there. So let's have a look here. Skills to pull it off. Well, Jacob's got the pulls to skill it off. V3 fork is pretty easy for Jacob. He's really at the frontier of peer-to-peer development, probably the best in the world at it. And he's got a huge team of superstars in there. So skills to pull it off, no problem at all. Now, the integration, what's going to look like? I think it's probably going to be bigger than what I've even shown you today. Don't be surprised about that. Now, I think they will be doing some balancing and rebalancing the tokenomics with Mafia, with PUSD Algo integration to see what that looks like, particularly with a V3 DEX that offers a much broader offering than just, the Mafia tokens, for example. So I think that's pretty awesome. But remember, Algo has several tokens. So Algo has the Algo token, which you use to mint the stablecoin PUSD. So PUSD is another stable there. It also has the reward token, which is the Flex one. So if you go to the earn page, you'll see the Flex token. So Flex, you earn Flex as a reward for doing anything on the platform, staking, providing liquidity, etc. Pretty important. But remember, the one thing you want to take away is stability miner. That really is the heart and soul of this protocol, as along with the liquidity IPOL, they call it, or liquidity there. So it's going to be pretty important. And then, of course, there's the reward version of PUSD, wrap PUSD. So basically 4 tokens if you want to think of it like that. So we probably looking forward to that. Now, as I said to you, that's going to be pretty exciting. Now, obviously got the skills to pull this off and bigger. Now, the other thing is time frame unknown. Now, the one criticism, which I think is fair and ongoing, is that we never know the time frame with Jacob's projects. He very really gives time frames. He used to give time frames, but never hit them. Because I don't know, does he have scope creep? I don't know. We'll see, but he's certainly got a bigger vision now than ever, and we're getting little Blue's Clues all over the place. So we'll just have to be patient with that. But we're definitely seeing some step ups. Like a week or so ago, he said this game on. So we had a little bit of uncertainty. We were like maybe 75% certain that the project was going to go ahead. Now we're kind of moved up to like 99%, maybe 100%. Because he said, yeah, you watch me build. He made big declarations on Telegram, very bullish ones. And so that set off all reignited the excitement of PUSD Algo there. And we still don't have a solution for scalability on Pulsechain. So this is still fitting a good market space on Pulsechain. And so very excited about that. Now, time frame unknown. Now, it could be earlier than we think. It could be part of the broader roadmap. He's that there. We haven't seen Pulse Predict come out, the token. We haven't seen, which is on the sports betting site. We haven't seen We haven't seen, what's the other thing I was trying to think of? We haven't seen the integration of all the casinos. We were expecting like an integrated site with Christmas. We haven't seen that. So obviously he's moving parts around, and I guess we'll just have to be ready when he gets ready. But we'll keep pressing him for timeframes. That's what we do, right? He may be the developer, but everyone else is the user, right? So the users are going to keep pressing him for timeframes. So we'll keep you up to date when we do see little hints there. Maybe Cult DeFi will come out with a bit of magic too around some timeframes. Very, very important. We would also like, as a community, like it to be shorter than longer. Continuing extended timeframes, not very fun in crypto. And so hopefully it's already been a long time already. So hopefully we'll get there soon. We've got a relationship with almost all Pulsechain influencers. Now, Cult DeFi, of course, is the front man for Jacob. He's done a spectacular job of connecting with, the consistent influencers. There's a lot of, we talk about 150 influencers out there or so, even more, but how many of them are consistent? Maybe a couple dozen. And then out of that couple dozen, there are, the medium, large influencers, and then you're probably looking at a dozen maybe, if you're lucky these days, right? And so it's good to see one coming up with Crypto Coffee there, probably the largest out there. And if you take all the metrics for an influencer, obviously there's other big ones like Somi and KDP and others like that. But I think overall it's definitely Coffee, I think, that garners that long-term position. So we've got relationship with almost all Pulsechain influencers. That's going to be really huge. We've seen recently RH Max, Corey Costa, people like that. It's really cool. I think Crypto Kindness was on not a while ago. People like that, pretty medium to large influencers and Pulsechain stuff. And that's what you need to reach the market. And of course, to make a DEX, a V3 DEX, the Pulse Mafia, grow and grow and grow. So I'm very excited about the potential there. And obviously, you guys know I throw my hat in the ring there as well on a constant basis, because I can see that Jacob's got the talent. He's got the character as well to really push this forward. So we're looking forward to the delivery. So pretty excited that. Now, the other thing, of course, is we need to attract more capital to PUSD Algo. Even though he's going to move ahead with it, the more capital we get in there, the better. Now, one very different thing about PUSD Algo sacrifice is that 50 to 75% of the capital will be going into the protocol day one. So I made a joke the other day about it's not going for a holiday trip in Hawaii, it's going into the protocol day one. So it's very bullish from that point of view. Now, in terms of the sacrifice, you can participate. So it's easy to do. And we're going to check that out in a second. Get any questions. You got any questions or any comments, get in the chat there. And let me know what you think. So if you've got any comments in there, if you've seen anything else. But a lot of the stuff today is all based on stuff in the PUSD Algo Telegram, comments that either Jacob has made or questions that I've asked. And so you can definitely have a look at that. I think we're going to potentially provide a lot of capital. People are seeing how successful Pulse Mafia is growing. We've just had a new community, which is a full-on gaming community. So this is not a crypto community. There are some crypto people in it, but it's actually a gaming community, and that's coming over to Pulse Mafia, BNB Mafia, and so they're just starting to jump over there too. So it's very hard to crack, get that convergence between gamers and crypto people, but it is starting to happen a little bit over on BNB. They're reaching out to those communities, so very excited to see that, and we know that our very own Archer Pelago, who's the Don of Dons of the Directorate, which is playing Mafia there. Obviously, I'm in that family. He is doing the marketing for Mafia, and he's got a terrific roadmap lined up as well. So looking forward to that. I think he's just waiting for the tick to go, and I think that's going to be game on. So you're going to have Cult DeFi doing the influencer side of things. You're going to have Archie there doing some spectacular marketing. That's beautiful stuff that I've seen from him that hasn't hit the market yet. So I'm very excited about that. So a big shout out to Don, who's just pretty much great at everything, right? This is pretty much it. So it's pretty awesome. So it's good to have Archie in the house. All right, so we've got some comments there as well. We got Brennan says, might see a few people provide LP pool between PUSD and PDI. That's right. You might still see that with the stablecoin. I don't see that not being played. I think all the stablecoins are up for grabs, but PDI definitely in the play there could be with PUSD, right? PUSD has the best brand name for Pulsechain stablecoin. I mean, PUSD, Pulsechain USD. This makes sense, right? So the branding is top notch. So yeah, we're going to see more capital. Potentially, everyone can contribute today. The other thing is that we've seen Rack and Michelle has been touch base. Hopefully, that progresses forward as well. He can get, potentially contribute somewhere between $50 and $1 million for projects that he likes. So a big shout out to Steve Hitson out there. Steve, if you want to come on the show, hit me up, or hit Cult DeFi up, or contact Jacob directly. And if you're out there too, Rack him, hit up as well. Now, if you guys want to participate, you can do that. I've got a little video of the dashboard that we had with Jacob from maybe probably a year ago, but I think the logic still holds up. So we're going to play a bit of that.
We've got the first page here. We've got the dashboard, and we've got stability miners there. So this is an overall. Do you want to just work through that?
Yeah. Okay. So this is obviously just a dashboard where you have kind of a shortcut entry or some statistics.
Yeah.
And this will lead you to either creating a stability miner or entering the earn program. And you can see stats on how the TVL is moving and how the ratio between capital at the miners and the liquid stablecoin market available capital. Yeah. And then we have the live chart of the current stable protocol.
It's fantastic. And is this currently linked into the live one that's on Pulsechain that you're testing?
Yes, that is the real data.
Yeah. Now, if you buy this on Pulsechain at the moment, it will be swappable for when the protocol actually goes live. Is that correct?
Yes, we will deploy a separate launch contract where you can just swap 1-to-1. So if you ever bought this, you will just get 1-for-1 of the real.
Now, just in this chart here for the stablecoin PUSD, which is currently live on Pulsechain, but is the test version, you had quite a bit of volatility at the beginning here, I noticed, and then it stabilizes very well. In fact, it actually looks like it's stabilized more than the CSD, which is backed by fiat currency.
Good point. Well, yes, this was the point where we deployed the stability miner. So before that, it was just random market buy orders. And you can see that the volatility completely got suppressed closer and closer to the $1 mark. So the stability miner is doing its job. It's generating a profit.
I've been pretty impressed with it.
Yeah.
So
So we feel good about that prototype. Obviously, we are running around 45 automated market maker arbitrage bots on it.
Okay.
We are running, I think, around 140K 24-hourly volume and 25K transactions.
Wow.
It's and we are running both one centralized stability miner script, and we are running a decentralized contract stability miner as well. So right now, this entire setup to run this prototype is actually quite significant, and but it really goes to show that there is a way for this, and this is how we are going to do it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the one thing that impressed me straight away when I was looking at on Pulsechain, because we've covered this a couple of times on our live shows, is how stable this was. And then I looked at the CST stablecoin, which has got about 70K liquidity on the PulseX. Obviously, most of its liquidity is on PX, but the price actually itself on PulseX was had a wider range generally. So yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive to start off. So it looks like you've onto something.
All right, so that was the video that I had with Jacob, the founder, on the dashboard page, which is pretty cool. So let's get back into PUSD Algo and check that out. So this is at the moment. We may see a UI refresh on Monday. The docs may get refreshed. I'm expecting those too, based on the comment in the PUSD Algo chat there. The sacrifice is open. It's extendedly open. Now, obviously, I said to you that 50% to 75% of the capital is going to go into LP pools, and we'll probably get maybe internal capital there, possibly from Jacob. I don't know where he's going to source that. Obviously, there's other revenue sources for Jacob in his ecosystem, but we also may see, who knows, Rack and Michelle and other people come in. Now, we are going to get a refresh of this site on Monday, so there's a couple of lag sacrifices on here, so they'll probably get updated, and we'll get a refresh on Monday. So I'll probably talk about that on my Monday or Tuesday show when that does happen. Now, if you guys want to participate, I do have a whole video series of small clips. Just type in PUSD Algo on the Hex Token YouTube channel, and you can watch all those videos there. You can also check out the docs, which have got the current docs. They'll probably be upgraded on Monday. Now, if you do want to participate, remember, you've got to be patient with the time frame. But like I said to you, this ecosystem could be ginormous. Pulse Mafia is one of the top transactional protocols on Pulsechain at the moment. And I think this is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we head towards the launch of that. And then with PUSD Algo and then all the other casino sites possibly being integrated could be pretty exciting. Now, obviously, these are my opinions, my speculations. But I am very bullish. I actually think it's probably going to be bigger than what I'm thinking. So based on the Blues Clues that I've seen so far, and I'll keep you tabs with any information that I see in my normal shows. Now, if you want to participate, there is a link in the video description. There are 2 ways of getting bonuses in this to boost up your position. You are an early adopter, so you do get extra benefits as opposed to coming in after the launch. And all you have to do is sacrifice to this wallet or contribute, depending on what terminology you want to use. But really, like I said, this is not like other sacrifices. The liquidity that is raised in this is going into the LP pool, right? And then, of course, into development, marketing, and the rest of it, right? So it's going to be very, very used, and not it's not going to be like liquid loans, for example, where most of the money goes somewhere else. So this is really, really cool. Looking very cool here. So OX9695, you can just copy the address, send capital there. Now you can use accepted tokens on Pulsechain. You can use EDAI, EUSDC, EUSD Tether, Pulse, PulseX, and Hex. On Ethereum, you can use DAI, USDC, USD Tether, Ethereum, Wrap, Bitcoin, and Hex there. So those are the ones. And we're probably going to refresh on Monday. Now, for every $1 you sacrifice, that includes the bonuses. You're going to get 20 Algo, which is the main coin, right? So if you think of Terra Luna, it's like Algo. Flexes the reward token. You get some of those straight away, and then you're going to get some of the stablecoin, the Wrap Vision 0.01, right, per $1. The total supply at the moment is 14 million Algo, 7,000 Wrap PUSD, and 140 million Flex. Now, I always like to go to, I think I'm going to page 6 here, to show you an idea. There's 2 bonuses, right? There's the one in the video description. You can use that link. It will give you a 19% bonus. 20% is the max, but the 90% bonus is in the video description. And of course, here's an example. You do have to get the access to the second. So the first bonus you can get automatically just with the link in the video description. Now you can see these dashes here on this column. See this referral X. So that's the one, that link in the video description. See these dashes? That means someone didn't use a referral link. You don't want to be that guy or girl, right? You want to use a referral link. Otherwise you're just missing out on value, right? So don't be the dashes, guys. These people did not use a link. You don't want to be that. You don't want to miss out. If you can get some free stuff, you want to get the free stuff, right? So this person did a 19%, got a 9% referral. The link to that is in the video description. And so straight away, they may have done something like $800 or so. They ended up getting over $1,000. Now remember, to get the second bonus, which is called bonus X, you need to sacrifice over 1,000, but that does include the referral bonus. And then you can get up to 2x multiplier, which is done by a random number generator. So this person got the free referral. The link's in the video description. And then they got, because of the $1,000, they then got a random number generator. They did really well. This person, they got 1.84. So you're going to get one between 1.01 and 2, 2x. If you got 2x, that's like the max. You can see this person got 1.5. This person got 1.8, 1.97. It really is kind of random. This person here only got 1.06, but then again, they didn't use a referral either, so you don't want to be that guy. You definitely want to get the bonus. So, yeah, there we go. Start off by winning with the 90% bonus. The link's in the video description for that. Pretty easy. So all you have to do is use a referral link in the video description, copy the address. After you've done your due diligence, of course, make sure you do that. Watch the videos, whatever you need to do. And then, of course, you can use any of these tokens to send the sacrifice to, right? And you just open up your wallet and send that. You can connect to the website, of course. It's all safe, and get into that. Now, this person here used a 19%. They ended up getting a 1.97 multiplier. So they ended up with like $2,000 worth. So they would have put in less than 1,000. Ended up with almost $2,100 in credit. And for every $1, right, every $1 they get this allocation up here. And so this person here ended up getting 41,600 algo. They ended up getting 416,000 flex token, which is the reward token. You know, anything you do on the platform, you get that reward. And then they got 20.8 wrapped PUSD, which is the reward version of the stablecoin, right? And you can also see all the videos I've got online and here and here. Now there may be a few changes that he's made if he does do this integration theory that I've pushed forward today, and that of course was substantiated by the big like button there from Jacob. So we'll see where we're heading there. We can also see that Cult DeFi is expanding as well from talking about the PUSD algo on Monday with Crypto Coffee. So there's definitely some movement happening there. Very excited about that. Brennan's possibly the Atropa team, yeah, with the PUSD PDI, yeah, definitely, dude, definitely. That's the old. That'd be pretty exciting. That James Maria. We got Brennan says 140k, nice. And where did the money for liquid loans go? Who knows? I think it went to Binance. I don't know. You can ask those guys. It's a lot of money that just didn't go back into the system. It didn't even deliver the stablecoin. I was a huge supporter of liquid loans, as you guys know, but most of the capital's disappeared, and it's like, what? They definitely use capital for marketing. They did a great job of the product and launching, but man, that's a lot of capital to run away with. I don't know. You guys can decide. Defiantly not to the LP or the marketing. Definitely not. No, not to the LP, which was a big criticism that there wasn't boosted there. Maybe they're going to do something later on. So a wild card because it's a long later on, but or marketing. Yeah, they could have done a lot more marketing, particularly within the Pulsechain community. They don't know if they spent much on that at all. So we'll see where it lands. All right, so I'm excited in any case for PUSD algo because we know where the capital's going. It's going into the protocol and not going into a new mansion or a new holiday trip or whatever else the money goes for, right? So very excited about that. And we know that Jacob delivers, right? So Pulse Mafia at the moment, BNB Mafia growing very, very well. And of course, we also know Pulse Pot has done pretty well. BNB Pot ticking over there. Pulse Predict coming up the line there too. And of course, PUSD algo really juggernaut. So I think this perfect combination between GameFi and DeFi is going to be a beautiful thing and huge growth there with Jacob following on. So I'm pretty excited about where it is. Now, we're probably going to get some more Blues Clues in the future stuff. So definitely getting excited for that. And I will let you guys know as soon as I know how things are going there. So yeah, very, very excited. Now I'm hoping to have a live stream with Cult DeFi. We're trying to arrange one soon. So he's obviously got one with Crypto Coffee on Monday, and we'll probably have a quick one talking about maybe some of the things we've talked about today coming up next week. And who knows, maybe we'll get Jacob on eventually. So could be pretty fun. All right, so a link to that 90% bonus into that one. You got to be patient with the time frame. I want to be, very clear about that because we're all just waiting patiently. But we have been seeing some pretty decent milestones there on Telegram regarding actually going forward with the project, and of course also with this expansion into DeFi, which I think is going to be pretty exciting. Now you can go check all those comments in the PUSD algo Telegram as well. And Jacob's responses. Cheers for the alpha. Looking forward to this project, says Brandon. Me too. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap up there. 58 minutes on the hour. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. PUSD algo on Pulsechain, bigger than 9mm and 9-inch exchanges. I think very, very doable. And of course, we know a lot of the capital will just go back in to the protocols. So I'm excited to where that is. A team that actually reinvests back into the protocol. Isn't that awesome? I think that's pretty exciting. So big supporter of Jacob. The vision is at the frontier of crypto, and with the big heart to put a lot of the economic energy back in the system. I think that is very, very exciting. All right, take care, everybody. Links in the video description if you want to participate, and I'll catch you guys again on the next show, probably in a day or two. We'll see how we go. All right, bye for now. Take care.